Hello everyone, this is Dr. John Makoff again. Today, I thought due to this month being Mental and Emotional Health Awareness Month, why not do a mental, emotional, holistic perspective little video. And it's a very big topic, and I'll try to make it concise, and if people are interested, I'll do an IG Live and Q&A about it. But let's first take one of the things that we may be lacking more in our society, our Western society, and is emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is basically our ability to be able to tune into our own emotions, identify them, be able to communicate them, as well as be able to identify others' emotions and be able to communicate them as well, and be able to have a compassion for them. Now, compassion for them doesn't mean we're responsible for their triggers. Everyone's responsible for their own triggers. It doesn't mean trying to stimulate their triggers per se. That's not compassion, but everyone has their own health journey, and it's not about tiptoeing around everybody's triggers, because no healing's getting done that way. It doesn't mean about triggering their triggers, because that's not a compassionate society. But triggers happen, and trying to blame others just so that we don't have to deal with it doesn't fix anything, and just keeps that can being kicked down the road, and it keeps a blame and victim mentality and cycle going. So that's one aspect, but emotional intelligence is nothing to really deal with intellectual intelligence. So somebody could be very intellectually intelligent, but are so disconnected from theirs and others' emotions and not knowing how to deal with it, or being very uncomfortable dealing with it, so they don't deal with it or avoid it, or blame people so they don't have to deal with it, and create a whole different trauma cycle that keeps going generation after generation, or through workplaces or school places. And so no healing's being done, and everyone's just going through blaming and victiming cycles. Not helpful. Another aspect of that, though, is if we see in our society today more and more aggression, more and more bullying, victiming, blaming and passing the buck, no responsibilities taken. And there's a lot of lack of emotional intelligence in those situations. And just because someone may agree with emotional intelligence doesn't mean they've worked on their own emotional intelligence and know how to adapt and deal with those issues. Medication is not the answer to actually deal with the issues. It may numb things. It may be a bridge to getting somewhere, but it doesn't solve anything. And, it's another kick in the can down the road in most instances. There may be individual instances that is necessary. But as a society, we keep passing the buck and blaming the computers, any object that you might want to use as an act of attack can have its own issues. But if people were emotionally intelligent and had a feeling of safety and trust and ability to know how to find it, and knowing that dealing with their emotional traumas, unresolved emotional stressors is a norm to do versus an embarrassment to do, and start that at an early age, as well as start it with the people teaching those early ages, I think that would be a much bigger shift to our society in a lot of ways. But that's only one aspect of it, because our nutrition affects our mental and emotional health and well-being. If our gut biome, the flora, the environment of our gut is inflamed, toxic, have various subclinical stealth infections like parasites, fungus, viral, bacterial, Lyme, mycotoxins. Those also, there's a connection of your gut to your brain. And the neurotransmitters that have a lot to do with keeping your brain chemistry in balance can be very gut related. So when you're giving a lot of sugar, processed foods, fake foods, a lot of the glyphosates, heavy metals, the crap that's in tap water, all these things can mess up your gut biome where you absorb nutrients, or try to, as well as that communication with the brain. So if your nutrition's off and bad, or if you have these various infections that aren't being dealt with and just being medicated or suppressed, that can also affect our emotional health, how we express, how we react. Also, some of the medications given for trying to deal with people's emotional disorders have side effects, and some of those side effects are aggression and various other weight gain, which also creates other depression aspects. And so there's so many different aspects that are not being addressed and not being looked at that could be beneficial. So that's a start of a discussion. But if you have any comments and questions, please leave them below. And thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.